Coach, early in the season, Oregon started the campaign #3, and we said, hey, this is kind of this is Georgia, Ohio State, and Oregon is the big three.
Right.
Week by week, Oregon has seen their stock go down. Alabama's goes up. What have you seen from the Ducks so far that's maybe giving you a little pause?
You know, I went out and saw them in spring practice, and I spoke to the team. Great-looking team. I thought they were a top-5 team. They still might be. What happened against Boise State was they had to rely on 2 returns for a touchdown. First time in 25 years. That's a sign of Brady, one of 2 things. The team's really struggling, or they're finding ways to win. You can see the return here. The score was tied 20-20 when they do this.
Yeah.
When you see the kick return next, Brady, they're losing by 7 points. So this is a street fight. Once again, it's a sign of there's a weakness on that team, which right now it's the offensive line, or it's a sign of finding a way to win.
And their defense gave up a couple hundred yards to Genty last week in Boise State. Guess who they play today? They play Jam Griffin and Anthony Hankerson. They're averaging nearly 300 yards per game on the ground. And that place, the way we joke about it, but that place is a tough place to play. Trent Bray, their head coach, was a part of Jonathan Smith's staff. They're fundamentally sound. It's a good football team. Oregon better watch out today.
What you said, everything we heard was about their offensive, defensive line, how they were built to be able to compete now for a national championship, in particular in the Big Ten. This is one of those games we're going to find out.
Yep.
They've struggled up front offensively, be able to push the pile, get more of a rushing attack, and defensively, to your point, giving up too much in the ground game. So I think their fronts are going to be tested today.
Jordan James looking for his 3rd straight game with 100-plus scrimmage yards to start the season. Oregon at Oregon State. Beavers running back Jam Griffin off to a great start, averaging nearly 125 rushing yards per game with 3 touchdowns so far this season. Kick coming up.
It feels like Thanksgiving at newly minted Research Stadium in Corvallis, Oregon. Yes, there's gray sky overhead, but no, these 2 teams that have been through so much together, they're not together anymore. Different conference alignments and a lot of angst between the Ducks and the Beavers once again today. We thank you for joining us. Jason Benetti, Brock Eward, Allison Williams downstairs in a moment. Look, these teams have never played in this month, ever. So we're not going to carve any turkey today, but there's a lot to be done with those chainsaws down there.
Yeah, and I'm glad we're finally playing football. I mean, this has just been so odd to me as a lifer on the West Coast, as a guy that watched this game growing up. Heck, we called the last conference one of them on a Friday night. When was that, last November?
It feels like yesterday.
Yes, it does. But I'll tell you, there's something about rivalry that just the colors speak volumes. Right? Seeing the leaves on the trees, kind of weird. No moss on the trees, kind of weird for this game being played. But when the orange and the green show up, you just kind of know. And then when you get on the field and you feel the animus of these students in this fan base that's here, you know it's rivalry time.
Last time they were here, Dan Lanning said their identity showed up, meaning Oregon State. They ran it down their throat because of this kind of energy. How does Oregon deal with that?
Well, Oregon doesn't really know who they are. And that's the challenge. They don't have an identity through 2 weeks. They've got a very talented roster, lots of familiar names, a bunch of experience, but through 2 weeks, what are they? Are they spread team, tempo team? Are they a running team? Are they going to throw the ball to you? You don't know who they are, but I will say this. If you're going to incubate your identity, going on the road is a good place to do it. And these Boo Birds that are going to just rain down on them and bring them closer together could be a good identity former for Mr. Lanning.
Well, you know, it never rains at Autzen Stadium. It's raining boos here at Research Stadium. Oregon State knows exactly what they have to do today, wouldn't you say?
That's right, and it's a little odd because I think the perception would be Dan Lanning's been there 3 years, got a lot of familiar faces. Trent Bray's all new coordinators, lots of new players, a new conference, all these newness. And yet they've got an identity. 150 offensive plays, and they've shoved it down the opponent's throat 109 times. That's exactly how they'll have to play this afternoon.
It's just as simple as who's going to be tougher. Kickoff is coming up next. Here they are again. Ducks and Beavers, not part of the same conference anymore. First non-conference game since '63. Again, we told you they've never played in September. First time before November since '45. It's the 128th meeting. And 2 years ago, a hobbled Bo Nix and Oregon lost here. Dillon Gabriel is trying to not have the same fate befall him, Allison Williams.
that the Ducks have not played at the level those expected inside and outside of this program. And quarterback Dillon Gabriel will be the first to admit it. He said we've had our ups and downs and adversity early in this season, but he's been around long enough to know that's not necessarily a bad thing. He said we have new guys and we're finding a way to blend together as a team. Sometimes you got to go through the crap to find out who you are. He said, I like this team, the way we've responded in games when it's been tight. Do we want to go out and dominate? Yeah, but there's something to be learned in close games that can help us going forward. We just have to make sure we learn from it, continue to mesh, and it is not worrisome at all how we have played early in this season.
Doesn't even take an hour to get from Eugene to Corvallis. Here we go for 3 hours this afternoon. And the opening touch of the football given to Oregon State as Oregon defers to Giovanni McCoy, the transfer from Idaho. They just want him to drive the bus, they say. Get the kids to school.
That's right. Distribute, facilitate. It's been a heavy run game. You see just 35 attempts.
Here we go. Load up the backfield out of the pistol. Jam Griffin, the tailback, and he's got the opening carry, and a penalty comes in. So we introduce you to Mark Kluzinski, our referee.
False start. Number 88. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's on Andy Alfieri. Oregon State's offense has a lot of work to do on the offensive line today. 2 guys out that they really could use.
Yeah, I don't think any of us expected Wells to be out. Vinchich making his first start. Gonzalez played a bunch already this season, rotated in. But yeah, new moving pieces right in the teeth of it. Trent Walker, 50% of their attempts in the passing game have gone his way this season.
He is on the near side wearing number 7. Out of the motion, it'll be McCoy over the middle, incomplete. He wanted Walker, and that's knocked away by Bryce Betcher, the baseball center fielder turned linebacker who used to be a defensive back. In this defense, Jordan Birch might be the best player on the team.
Yeah, it's not often we hear an offensive coordinator single out a guy, as Gunderson did. And he said Birch can't wreck this game because he's that dominant. Boss is a stud. Betcher nearly had the pick right there, and a ton of experience on the back end for the Ducks.
Some great transfers, including Kobe Savage from Kansas State. He wants Griffin out of the backfield. That's incomplete. Betcher is amped. He is an Oregon native. He's playing out of his mind early.
Yeah, he is right here. Nearly had the first down interception. This time, well, kind of like a great center fielder making a jump. And we've got some fun stuff for you if we can get to it eventually. Arm wrapped around, but he doesn't impede. There's no pull there, and that center fielder knocks it away.
Penalties may be huge in this game. You see Uiagalelei standing up. He's on his way in. He got there. McCoy turns it upfield and has space to deal with. Giovanni McCoy broke free for a huge gain for Oregon State. There's a marker in. We'll see if it stands.
McCoy's kind of kept that one in the holster and used his legs that much.
Personal foul. Illegal blindside block. Offense number 18. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
So that's a spot foul. That's worth noting. It's on Jeremiah Noga, the wide receiver. Trent Bray is incensed.
Yeah, and you're going to see Noga eventually way down the field work, but good job by this rebuilt offensive line to just give McCoy some space to do that, to not suffocate the pocket so much. He can dance, and you're going to see the block come in at about the 50-yard line, and it was a shot. But a big play to first down nonetheless.
They'll run it. Jam Griffin. If you read lips, you may have seen Trent Bray signaling that this is an agricultural school. There was a comment maybe about fertilizer on the sideline on the penalty.
Yeah, and it also might be, I played in 4 of these. I made a lot of tackles. Let's just let the Beavers and Ducks play today. But that one, honestly, Jason, was pretty blatant.
This whole coaching staff, 2 coordinators, head coach, former Beaver players. 2nd down and 7. It's McCoy rolling and throwing, flowing this way. It's a first down and more to the 40-yard line. Bryce Caulfield, who had the touchdown against San Diego State. It's a gain of 15.
Yeah, the edges of this defense have been a little bit of an issue for Oregon, so not surprised here to see them attacking it, not just in the run game, but a little play pass. Tuioti loses his feet, he loses contain, and the chains are moving.
Walker in the slot left. Their most consistent receiver. McCoy looked him off. Throws the other way. It's tipped and incomplete. It's off the hand of Wells, and it's second down coming up. That was dangerous.
Play you'd love Wells to make here as a receiver, but when there's so much traffic around you, you know what your job is, a QB? Put that ball right on the rib cage and don't make him think about all those linebackers and all the others. As now a couple have gone the right way for McCoy.
Who told us yesterday, sometimes you just have to take a breath. Take it in, slow myself down. Play action. He'll throw it over the middle. He's got Taz Reddix.
Option routes, just trying to find space in zone. If you're going to play some zone coverage, they're just going to get to green grass. And McCoy's got enough experience, Jason. 25 starts under his belt. This moment should not be too big for him.
They'll bring one of those tight ends, Terry, to the formation right there. Anthony Hankerson in for the first time, and they'll run it with Hankerson to the short side and pick up a yard. Let's take a look at our Get More game plan, sponsored by Geico.
Money has been talked about with the Ducks offense and the sacks and the tackles for loss, but just 6 explosive plays in 2 games. That's not going to cut it. Not with the speed and athleticism, and frankly defensively too. A chance here early to get a couple picks. Got to be explosive, and for Oregon State, keep the pressure on. Not just defensive pressures, but the pressure of expectation. Get this game to the second half and make them feel the weight of being a top 10 team.
Like 2 years ago with a Pac-12 title game berth on the line here. McCoy bails again, and he's tripped up down to the 24-yard line. Derek Harmon, the transfer from Michigan State, with a stop. 10th play of this opening drive. Walker in motion. He's got him open on a crosser, and he's out of bounds.
I like this call, Jason. Talking to the coordinators on the field before the game. Both sides of the ball said, we are going to be aggressive.
Early movement at the line. Now this is where the offensive line shape-shifting can hurt.
Offense number 66. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Grant Stark.
Yeah, that's going to be the 5th-year senior right there. And kind of like the first play of the game, right? We saw a couple Beavers overzealous to get started. The 5th-year senior knew he wanted to create movement.
This is from 43 for the opening lead. It is blocked. Oregon holds the line at a big spot. That was right into the line. Uiagalelei, Caldwell, Birch, they were all there. Possibly Trent Bray gets nothing. All right, here's the block, and in fact, he kicked it into his own offensive lineman.
Yeah, 66, Grant Stark got a little head start on the 4th and 1, and that time some penetration, but an awfully low kick that just never got started.
So Dillon Gabriel, who's been extraordinarily accurate so far, 59 for 70, hands it off on an opening carry for Jordan James, who gets to the outside to the 31-yard line. So 52 starts for Dillon Gabriel. His deep ball is beautiful. He's stopped at a couple of different places. What do you want to see from him today?
I want to see this whole offense form that identity we talked about in the open. I think they're going to simplify. They're going to stick with one offensive line. And you'd like to see him play as Bo did, with just tremendous urgency.
He'll run it again, straight forward, and James, as Oregon tries to dictate some physicality early on. It's Skylar Thomas coming up to make the stop. Tez Johnson, who had the big kick return for a touchdown last week, in motion. Gabriel on the throw. He comes near side, and that's a wide open Traeshon Holden, the Alabama transfer, gain of 13, first down.
Well, this is what Duck fans have been waiting for. Can we just give Dillon Gabriel a pocket against a 4-man rush? Nobody gets home, and you could see he can scan. He's actually got the back wide open for the check down, but dark for the first down.
Gabriel right down the middle, on target, Tez Johnson, who spins away from 2 and gets belted down to the 31-yard line. Oh, there's some vigor in Oregon right now.
Tez is so hard to defend on these RPOs, right? It's run action up front. Everybody looks like run. You can see the front sell to it. And Tez Johnson's just got such tremendous feel, over 3,000 yards receiving in his career.
Nobody's had more catches in a single season for Oregon than Tez Johnson last year. Now Jordan James changing direction in a phone booth. It'll be second and short. Oregon State's defense has some real work to do on this drive. Thomas Collins moves outside.
Yep, going to try to add a little bulk there. Oregon playing with tremendous tempo right here. And then Kane, the veteran safety, the fifth-year guy in the back. He's going to have to be an eraser, just going to try to have to eliminate the explosive plays and make the Ducks earn it.
The tight end Ferguson downstairs. Gabriel throws. Tez Johnson switches direction and gets undercut. It's first and goal. That was Robinson slicing him down. Gain of 15 again.
Well, once again, you tell me, Benetti, does anybody even smell Dillon Gabriel?
No.
Is there any Oregon State defender?
No.
No. And when he has time to set his feet like that, maybe it's because he's a lefty, but man, does he throw some tight spiral line drives that are fun to watch.
You wanted identity for Oregon. This opening drive has been very self-assured. Gabriel again whistling it far side. That's Evan Stewart's first catch. It'll be from the 5 that they go second and goal.
That's a really nice catch. And Evan came to life a week ago. Huge explosive plays, over 100 yards receiving. They're showing you on this opening drive. All the pollsters thought one of the best teams in the country, number 3 going into week number 1. And you're seeing the talent on display.
Full bunch on the top side. They'll break out of it and come near side on the 8th play of the drive. It's James. Straight ahead. Touchdown, Oregon. Dominating opening drive for the Ducks.
One thing I wanted to see, just watch how square these guys stay right here, Jason. On tape the first couple weeks, been a lot of discombobulation. Guys turned in different direction, move in different ways. Not that time. Oregon State tries to stunt. Oregon stays square. All that beef in the middle, guard to guard, gives James an opportunity to do what he can do, man, and that is get it in the end zone.
Let's see what they do here. It looks like they're going to swing the gate to get Atticus Sappington, the former Beaver, who is being serenaded by Orange.
Welcome home.
Yeah. There was no gift basket in his locker, certainly. 7-0 Oregon. Opening drive, everything you'd want as a Duck fan. All in one. Touchdown, Jordan James. As animals, what do beavers do, Brock?
Build dams.
Yeah. So here's how they rebuild after all the transfers. You know, 40-plus guys end up leaving. Half of those transfers, even from Sweden, right? You got to. How would you got a ferry to do that? How do you do that? Thomas Collins coming from Sweden. There's a player from Australia as well.
An 8 from Florida. The natural connection between South Florida and Corvallis. As I said, Trent Bray, how did you do that? And he said, well, it's just the right kind of kids and the right kind of connections, and they had a lot of patching to do.
Jonathan Smith left for Michigan State. He's in his first year there. But all Oregon State on the coaching side as they will run it on first down. Birch got the first hit in there, and there is a marker down. Hankerson on the run, and we'll check the flag. So that face mask will give them a first down. Watch it at the end of the play here. That was Birch. Minimal. I like and. Says it all. Hankerson again. Off the right side. And downstairs to Allison.
Jason, you guys are talking about all the players Oregon State brought in. And head coach Trent Bray has a very clear idea, having played here himself, of just the type of players that they have to recruit. He said, we understand what it takes to be successful. And there's definitely a certain type that will do well here. And there's a certain type that will not. We need guys that are tough, motivated by purpose, not material, and come here on a mission to play football and try to get to the next level.
They've had that in a couple of their rooms over the years. The running back room is one of them. That's Hankerson again. It'll be third down and a couple. Third down and 4. McCoy throwing to Hankerson. Off the bobble. Did he ever put it away? No, incomplete. Bryce Betcher again made a play.
Well, that was such a good job by McCoy. You talked earlier about him just driving the bus. Don't go crazy. Run and see that blitz. You get it right to your outlet, and he puts it in the spot for Hankerson. But you see the eyes. And all young running backs, receivers know it. Secure it first. You want to get that first down. Right, kind of like your right tackle wants to get started on a 4th and 1. But it's the fundamentals and the details that really show up in these big emotional rivalry games.
They're going to review
the ruling
this,
on the previous play was an
is
incomplete pass. The play's under further review.
Every play's reviewed upstairs, but some of them do stop play. And here they will stop play to take a look at whether or not Hankerson did have control. Does he complete the catch?
That is pretty close.
Mike Pereira is with us, watching along with us, and he'll get a second look at it. Does he have control with a foot down?
This is one of those challenging ones, and I was listening to Mike Pereira earlier on the game in Wisconsin. What do you call first? If this is called a catch first, I think this stands as a catch. This was obviously on the field called incomplete. Nope. He has no control. He has no control. He gains control there. Does the ball move anymore, Jason, from right there while his foot is on the ground through contact with the ground?
I don't think so. Do you?
I think it's an excellent job by the replay booth to slow this game down and to take another look at it. The foot's down right there. The foot is down. The foot is down. Does the ball from that point through contact with the ground move at all? I don't think it does.
After review, it is a catch inbounds. It will be first down for Oregon State at the 40-yard line.
You said it, Brock. That's a great job.
I think Brock was right off the bat. You don't need me. I mean, he had control. The ball was kind of up in his elbow a little bit, but that's the arm. So it's either the hands or arms. And then the ball never came loose when he hit the ground. So with that foot being down, that was a great job by replay, recognizing that and getting it changed.
Let's be really clear, Mikey P. I need you. Always.
First down. That's Noga. He tried to throw it back. He's got McCoy, and his throw is incomplete.
And you kind of want it the other way. You kind of want, if you call this, and it's a great shot play, but Oregon is all over it. They sniff it there, they sniff it here. Tremendous discipline on the back end.
Yeah, Tuioti was all over.
All over it. And Trent's like, good idea, Ryan Anderson up in the booth. I like the call. But Oregon sure played it well.
They've known each other for a long time. They played together at Oregon State, linebacker and quarterback. Second down run. Hankerson again, and he is stonewalled. Third down and 10. You see Uiagalelei down at the bottom of the line. DJ's brother Mateo playing for Oregon. Quick throw. Walker, first down. Short set and a laser to his favorite target from McCoy, Walker.
What did he say to us yesterday? How does he win versus press?
Feet, with feet.
I'm not going to outrun these guys. They're going to be faster. Jabbar Muhammad's an awesome player. There is, by the way, a penalty flag down. But he said, it's all about my feet off the jump. That's when I got to win. He did it right there.
This is Oregon's official sideline warning. Sideline warning on Oregon.
Can you imagine what this rivalry would have been like in terms of littered with flags if they called sideline warnings every time they could have over the years?
Rich Brooks and Jerry Pettibone and Mike Bellotti out on the field.
Joe Amazano. Out of Beaverton High School in the Portland area, Trent Walker, who sees as many targets as anybody through 2 weeks. Inside run, Hankerson is bottled up. Walker is at the bottom of the formation. He's tight to the formation. Hankerson, the tailback. They'll go straight ahead again, and it's Hankerson rummaging for very close to the line to gain. He's going to be just short. Betcher the tackle. Nice run.
Yeah, and this is all right here. This is Jermaine Terry. I think their best offensive player along with their left guard, Josh Gray, and they get movement and get and win at the point of attack.
They are going to give him the spot on the first down. We'll see if replay wants to look at that, too. They looked like he was going to be just short.
Pretty good hand plant right there.
Couple of tight ends in. They'll go right back to the ground. Hankerson shuffling outside to the 15. And the two running backs that they use. 7 runs on the drive, mostly Hankerson. Jam Griffin is into the ball game on a 2nd down and 8. McCoy pops it over the top. It's Walker. It's 3rd down and 1 coming up. The ball came free, but he was down. Jabbar Muhammad worked hard to punch it out if they have to get. Bodies staring at each other. Straight up the middle, and that is a 1st down. Hankerson back in. They'll run one more play before the end of the 1st. Off the Walker motion. Straight ahead. Hankerson beats down the door. Touchdown, Beavers.
Oregon offensive line, if you can stay square and you can move people, so can we. And Oregon State, even with the backup center, Vincic does a wonderful job. The left guard, Gray, even better to get a helmet on a helmet. And running backs on both sides today, Mr. Benetti, if they have green grass, they know what to do with it.
Well, what Oregon State knows is playing keep away. Nearly 10 minutes of the first quarter, the Beavers have had the ball. Oregon State last 3 drives didn't run the ball, didn't pass the ball at the end of that 2022 game. It was all runs to win that game 38-34. They just ran it for a touchdown here to end a 6.5-minute drive.
No greater feeling in an offensive huddle than imposing your will. And knowing, hey, that defense knows what's coming and they can't stop it, and there is no more defeating feeling for a defense.
This kick will fly into the end zone. Let's go back to the touchdown in your clicker.
Yeah, people always wonder all this pre-snap movement, right? You're going to see the motion here. When that motion goes, I want you to watch these 2 Duck defenders, Savage and Betcher. Veteran guys, but look at what that motion does. Right, they actually run right into each other. It's losing your eyes. You're pointing, but ultimately that misdirection, the tight end coming around, just all of that window dressing. And that confusion leaves a couple Ducks bumping into each other, and that's more than enough for Hankerson to get the job done.
And the timing of the snap matters there too, right? With the
100%. And that was a point of emphasis this week, is to really try to snap it right there behind the line and right behind the center to mess with the strength of that Oregon defense.
Last play of quarter number 1 in a tie ball game. Jordan James had the touchdown. This is Terrence Ferguson, the tight end, who rumbles to about the 30-yard line. Remaining enough for you?
Pretty good.
It's the end of the first quarter.
Feel like they still don't really like each other?
And I thought it was cute you said it would only be 3 hours. Good luck.
We're tied at 7. Long way to go.
Lanning, I know we haven't seen a ton of your offense, but with them back on the field, what has impressed you the most so far?
Yeah, just our ability to play clean, right? We talked about playing clean coming in this game so far. They had a good clean drive. That first opportunity, we got to take advantage of it again.
You know Oregon State wants to possess the ball, and we saw them have that long drive with a touchdown. What's your defense got to do to get off the field?
Yeah, we got to stop them on 3rd down. Had some opportunities on 3rd down. We didn't get stops there. Got to control the quarterback on the scrambles.
Thank you, Dan.
Oregon State was 4 for 5 on 3rd down in the opening quarter. And the Ducks get it back. At the end of the first, Dillon Gabriel throwing this way again. Terrence Ferguson blitzing down the sideline. And finally, in plus territory or so, knocked out of bounds after a gain of 20.
Well, I showed that motion with Trent Walker on the other side. It is the same thing. You're going to see, it's not the pre-snap motion, but post-snap. He comes across, does Ferguson in these tight ends so many times to cut off in the zone run game. And it makes it so difficult when it's the same look. But instead of blocking, number 3 knows what to do with it when the ball's in his hands.
21 catches by Oregon tight ends now. The most in the FBS for the tight end room. Gabriel coming back this way for James, and he is chopped down. It's the freshman Isaiah Chisholm for a loss of 4.
And that is a heck of a play, man. 2 Duck linemen out front. And you can't wait when you're a linebacker. You cannot hesitate. You're going to see the screen action, 2 big guys out there about 700 pounds. And Chisholm's got 1 shot and that is to split those two and go get the tackle for loss, and he does just that.
He missed the first half last week for targeting there. He went low in a beautiful tackle.
A little bit of empty here, doing this to try to simplify the protection at the line of scrimmage. Now they'll bring Whittington back in.
Speed option here. Dillon Gabriel down the sideline. He's winning the foot race. Gabriel touchdown with a vapor trail from 54 yards.
We talk about the chess match, and Gabriel Stein checkmate right here. That motion brings it back in, and you're going to see the left side of the line, Connerly Seelick. And all you want as a quarterback in speed option is one-on-one. So that whole formation in empty, you get a look, and then you bring your back in to get another look. And once Gabriel sees it's one-on-one, big time.
And now on the extra point, they're going to end up with K Sadiq into the end zone.
I think they found that play in the 1933 matchup between the two.
You think that's when it was from?
Kind of looked that way. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to line up in this like swinging gate thing, and you're going to stand all sideways, and then I'm going to snap it to you. I think I saw that snap in the 08 matchup of these two.
Get out of the library. For Oregon, and the one positive of playing this game in September is it's not like 26 degrees and frozen. It's a beautiful day, and Dillon Gabriel used that track to speed down the sideline for the second Oregon score. Now the Beavers off his line drive kick. They'll have it from the 25. Back to the touchdown.
You know, one of the advantages, Jason, of 52 starts like Dillon's made, a lot of communication at the line of scrimmage. He knows what they're running here, speed option. And here's the key. Here is this motion. And once Whittington comes back into the box right here, everybody knows it. Okay, I'm blocking down, and I got one-on-one with this fella right here. That's it. That's the whole play. And once he goes, and you get a great block outside by Evan Stewart as well, it is a house call. But that motion and declaring that one-on-one situation, the key. And when you've started 52 games, you can slow it down, and then you can speed it up for 6.
And with all that's gone well at the quarterback position for Oregon, they're going to change for this drive. Jabari Johnson is in, the freshman for Oregon State, more of a running quarterback. And here is Jam Griffin leaning for a nice gain on first down to set up second down at 3.
Can I say one more thing, too? Sure. That question that Allison asked Dan Lanning about what you've got to do defensively. Not just get off the field on third down. You've got to start defeating blocks. They have not done a good enough job of that these first 2 weeks.
A little tempo here. Birch throwing with it, and it's going to be a first down once again for Jam Griffin. So what does that look like, Brock, if we're watching at home?
That means for Harmon and Caldwell and Birch, when you are locked up, then you have got to shed that block. It's not just enough to, hey, I'm in the right position, I'm gap sound, as you'll hear people say. That's all fine. But you're too talented, too experienced. Get your hands on guys and throw them, disengage, so there can be more tackles at the point of attack. Wasn't good enough last week, and not a great start today.
Low snap, and he's going to have to dive on it. Johnson just had to put his body on top of the football. Betcher was closest. It'll be second down. New center.
New center, young quarterback. This ball comes pretty hot right between the legs. And you talk about the timing of that motion. I don't know if I love seeing such a young quarterback with all of the mechanics going on around and a new center. But I understand why they do it, because he's got tremendous playmaking speed.
They'll go under center here, that's for sure. It's a loss of 7. And they're behind the sticks. Johnson loads up a screen. He goes to the far side. He's got it to the back. Griffin out of the backfield. He'll get the yardage back on the loss, basically, and it's third down. So what do you do, right? Can you just not go out of the shotgun? Like, what's the plan?
No, you're going to continue to mix it, and he gets enough reps during the week of practice that absolutely not. You don't oversimplify it. You do what you do. Now, you've been good on third down, and part of it's because you've not had to look at this, 3rd and 11. This is where Oregon typically likes to heat it up or mix it up.
Another low snap. He's out of the pocket. Johnson rolling. They get a hand on him, and he's going to go down. That was Devin Jackson, the linebacker, who got a piece of him. Then Winston took him out of bounds. 4th down.
You asked the question, what does defeating blocks look like? Watch this right in the middle. Watch Harmon just win right away. See, get my hands on the center, and then I get through that line. Now, it's a little easier to do on 3rd and 11 in a passing situation.
Special teams was the game winner last week for Oregon against Boise State. Tez Johnson back to receive. We'll see if he gets a chance. The answer to that is maybe. Here he goes. Hemmed in for a moment. Can they keep him caged is the question. And he dances for a couple after a 50-40-yard punt. Last we saw Dillon Gabriel, he was going as far as that punt just did, down the sideline. 15-7 Oregon, and the Ducks have it next. Fox College Football is sponsored by Defender and by Modelo. Now recruiting full-time fans. Please drink responsibly. The quarterbacks from Hawaii through the Oregon program, including Marcus Mariota, who has made a relationship with Dillon Gabriel, who himself has now given uniforms back to his own high school.
Pretty awesome. He looked like Mariota flying down that sidelines as well. This guy's run for 28 career touchdowns. The numbers are so prolific in his 6 years, as he showed he can scoot too.
Different system here, but some carryover as Whittington is in. And his run will get him to the 19. Allison on Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, wearing that number 8 in a Ducks jersey is kind of full circle for Dillon Gabriel. He grew up watching and idolizing Marcus Mariota in Hawaii. And he said, every time I walk into that center named after Mariota, it reminds me that it is so much bigger than myself, what I'm able to do. He said, I just remember the way he motivated me, opened doors to the idea of being able to play quarterback coming up in Hawaii. He said, I just want to instill that same sense of belief and motivation for youngsters watching now.
Really powerful to have somebody to aim for and an inspiration to follow as that run gets to about the 21. I mean, you can't miss Mariota in the facility in Eugene. Like, there's a huge hologram of him on one of the ceilings, and he has been that presence for this program. The Woodwinds are ready for 3rd down. The first 3rd down for Oregon today. Jayden Limar into the backfield. 3rd down and 5. Gabriel rolling to his right. He throws with the left. He leans, and did he get the ball? There is the question. Where was the ball when he stepped out of bounds?
Just like Mariota was for so many years, that whole play was discombobulated. Two Ducks run into each other. And you're right, Jason. Where is the ball as he once again is using those legs effectively? And that's a 1st down.
And he extends it over the sideline before he steps out of bounds there. 1st down. Limar remains in. And he was the guy who saved the day on the kick return that got dropped at the goal line last week, which we see one of on the West Coast every year in college football, I feel like. And we'll have a timeout called by Oregon State.
They're first of the half.
Dillon Gabriel has had quite a few stops. He opened in Hawaii. His dad was a quarterback as well at Hawaii, Mililani High School. He went to UCF where he had that tragic injury at the early part of the 2019 season. He then goes to Norman as a transfer with Jeff Lebby as the offensive coordinator. Nearly went to UCLA that time around. Then tried to keep everything a little calmer with his recruiting this time and ends up in Eugene. Well, they're happy to have him right now. 2nd down and 8. James is in. It's play action. He'll throw near side. Tez Johnson keeps his feet and then sort of hopscotches to the sideline. It's 3rd down. He is so smooth, Brock.
You know, he reminds me, the more I watch Cavante Turpin, the Pro Bowler, the UFL, former UFL star and TCU guy, they're built about the same, like 160 pounds, and you wonder, how can they do this? But they are so twitchy and so elusive. And just such a feel for space.
3rd and 3. Short toss for James. He's got the 1st down and more. Connerly wiped somebody out. Jordan the stop. It's a gain of 12.
Well, Connerly is just a stud. There's a reason he was a 5-star out of Seattle. He is so athletic. And once again, that edge, his speed option the first time. That time it's a little toss play. crushing the edges.
Gabriel's deep ball for the first time today, and there's a marker coming in. That's a tackle by Andre Jordan.
Pass interference. Defense number 27. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
He is grabbing, pulling, impeding. That is, as you said, textbook right there. Very, very obvious. I love Dillon Gabriel's deep ball, man. It is a thing of beauty. Whatever they teach on the islands, two are the same way. Marcus, those guys know how to throw it deep.
Got the air nerf working. As he calls it, Gabriel wants to throw it back this direction. He's got a wide open tight end. Terrence Ferguson, little soft shoe to the 20-yard line. What a change of direction. It's a gain of 20.
Mind you, just body type of Kelsey a little bit.
Oh, that's interesting.
As you just watch that run, he's got like the shoulder lean in front of him. He just has, movement and change of direction. I mean, that honestly, if you put Kelsey's number on there, and he's big. Terrence is 6'5", 260, but they just move so smooth and not stiff. And you can see the numbers off the charts. He's going to chase Ed Dixon and Josh Wilcox down this season.
Yeah, for all the records, Wilcox has the touchdown record for tight ends at Oregon. Gabriel loads the time. End zone. It's a touchdown. Traeshon Holden. You can't give Dillon Gabriel 8 seconds.
Well, this is such a stark contrast to what we saw the first couple weeks with 7 sacks, people harassing him all the time. Just a 3-man rush. He sees it, he feels it. An excellent job by Cornelius. And then once he sets his feet and is able to scan the entire field, and you're going to see Holden now with his 15th touchdown catch of his career. 7 in Bama, 8 now as a Duck. Throws that hand up in the air. And Dillon Gabriel has been perfecto this first half. We're still booing Atticus.
Brock, I don't think they're going to stop.
I don't think
Did you think it was going to?
I don't think I've ever heard a kicker booed as loudly.
Hey, something new in sports is always nice. So 22-7 Oregon. All right, so 20-plus yard plays. Yes. 4 of them already to date. Do you see an identity?
I do, and it starts up front, right? It starts with that line of scrimmage, allowing all these stars to do what they're capable of doing, what everybody, I think, going into the season thought they were going to do. Remember, they were off the charts last year in every way offensively. And 20-plus yard plays, all the same. 11th in the country. To have just 6 the first 2 weeks, especially against Idaho, nothing against them.
No.
But they have found it today, and it has all started at the line of scrimmage.
Maybe special teams can do something for them with Card, the freshman, and he is tripped up. That's a really nice play on special teams, and that's Betcher. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? He's got a nephew who's an Oregon State fan, Bryce Betcher, by the way. And like he said, he didn't respond to all the text messages in 2022, but he's a really good baseball player, Brock.
Yes, he is a dynamic center fielder. And you said it best. We're watching some tape on him. And you're like, yeah, he looks like a linebacker playing center field. Yep. And he can scoot. And it's why the Astros drafted him in the 13th round and won a Gold Glove out in center field. And patrols that turf just as well as he patrols this linebacker turf, too.
Yeah, he is not center fielder playing linebacker. It's the other way around, like you said. As here is Hankerson. Betcher got a hand on his foot but couldn't take him down. And it's a gain of about 4 as Johnson finally did knock him down. 2nd and 6. It's play action. With McCoy back in, and he'll roll, come to this side, and Betcher flowing with the play again, going laterally to set up a 3rd down.
Wow, did he cover some ground? Holy smokes. That was your play in the right center field gap, because you're going to watch him right here. And just the amount of ground, good play action. We've seen this a couple different times, and then boom, right there you put your foot in the ground, and you've got to take the right angle for a fly ball and the right angle to chase the QB down.
You know, hit probability, that was 1st down probability through the roof, and Betcher changed the numbers. Substitution allowed here. Tuioti will come out. Oregon will use the substitution to help itself. Winston came on, and a timeout forced for Oregon State.
Oregon State.
It's legal. It's within the rules.
30-second timeout.
Oregon State said this week that they didn't want to substitute too much to give Oregon the chance to do that very thing. So 3rd and 2. Let's watch the similarities between Betcher on the baseball diamond to football.
Now look at him in center field in that jump, and then just the amount of ground to cover. And the same thing today. This was the opening series of the game. He is all over it and an awareness to jump it. And then, as you said, right, they chart all those plays for the outfielders of hit probability. Allison, that was pretty good, taking a first down away.
Yeah, and he told us there are definitely some similarities between chasing down a ball in center field and a ball carrier on the football field, and it's that initial reaction and that initial instinct. He said when you see the ball off the bat, you have to go full speed, just like you do when you see a ball carrier about to make a cut. You have to react and go with no hesitation and trust your instincts full speed. We saw that.
Oh, he has in a big way, Allison. 3rd and 2. Walker in motion. They'll follow him. McCoy throwing over the middle, and he's got Reddix. First down, Oregon State, and a big one for the Beavers. Play action. Here comes pressure, and he'll drop it off. It's Hankerson, hit from behind by Tuioti. It's a loss on the play for Oregon State.
That's an awesome, awesome job by Tuioti to retrack, and you would expect nothing less. His dad is the D-line coach after all. It is a screen the entire way. He retraces his steps. He feels it. He goes back to it. And you feel a little more urgency from the Ducks here defensively. It's almost like we know what the offense is capable of, and Tosh Lapoy and Dan Lanning work so well together. But defensively, you get a stop and get the ball back, and after halftime, you could step on the gas.
You could. McCoy giving ground again. He'll drop it off. Hankerson wide open. Green grass in the state of Oregon. And down he goes about a yard short.
Idaho did this a bunch. Just got linemen out in front. I think Idaho ran 8 screens in their 48 plays. And Oregon State says, well, if it worked for Idaho pretty well against an aggressive group, let's start screening them too.
A lot checks in, and he's thrown back. Tuioti, what a series. What a series.
Yeah, what did Allison say that Betcher talked about when it came, to play in center field? Can't wait. And Tuioti does the same thing right there. Just absolutely beats the block there. The cutoff block says, I know what you're going to try to do to me. I'm going to defeat that block and that 3rd down.
What do you think about this here? 4th and 1.
Aggressive.
Hankerson in. Walker in motion. Straight ahead. Hankerson first down. Oh, he just absolutely trucked Betcher.
You know what else that decision says? Very clearly from Trent Bray. I may be a defensive guy, but I know when my defense is struggling. We can't stop them. We don't have an answer right now for Dillon Gabriel, who's 10 for 10. A run game that is overwhelming us. And the chance we got is to try to stay on the field here offensively.
1st and 10 from the 50.
And make the most of this possession.
First down from midfield. They'll run one play before the 2-minute. Walker to the 40 and then some. Kobe Savage knocked him down. Gain of 14 and some momentum for the Beavers. You played here in Corvallis. What an atmosphere and a beautiful place to watch a football game.
Yeah, it didn't look like this. it was very different last century, Mr. Benetti.
Well, they had all the construction people doing the work, as you just saw.
And I don't think they were singing Steve Perry, too.
On first down, McCoy to throw. Down the middle, he's got Noga, his second catch of the year. Oregon does have 3 timeouts to burn. This drive is over 5 minutes now. They had a 6.5-minute drive earlier in the first half. McCoy to Walker. Oregon missed 2 tackles. There were 2 more Ducks, and Walker just fought and fought and fought. It's 3rd down.
Wow. Run this earlier, and Oregon is all over it, to your point. You do not see Brandon Johnson miss many of those tackles, but that was all want to.
Well, Walker told us as there's a first down. They're just running straight ahead now. That's Hankerson, who's got some moxie. Walker said, look, I was under-recruited. I felt like more people should have been on what I do, and that kid, that run to get short of The first down by
That
just
should have
1
been
yard.
39.
That's right. His mom, his dad, his brother all went to Oregon State. He's got it in his blood. There he is in motion on first down. McCoy stays on it, throws, Walker, incomplete.
22.5 miles an hour has Mr. Jackson hit on their catapult system, and that is flying.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer with targeting.
With targeting.
Defense number 26. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So obviously this is looked at in the replay booth right now as every targeting. I don't know if I see targeting. And frankly, Jason, I mean, he's just running right through him. This is going to be a great look at it right here. He hits the arm. Mike Pereira, I told you, I need you. And especially on this one.
Well, I'll tell you, in my opinion here, I don't think it's roughing the passer or targeting.
Agreed.
It's not late, okay? Now, he certainly doesn't lead with the crown of the helmet. Now, he just has to have forcible contact to their head and neck area, and maybe that's the only thing that they could hang their hat on. But to me, hands go in front. I just don't see this as a foul, period.
Mike, where's the first contact? It looks like the first contact's into his arm, right?
It really does. He kind of puts his arms out, which you want him to do. Now, that doesn't automatically, take over and eliminate any possibility of head or neck contact. Yep. But again, you saw the officials talking about it before, and again, as you say there, the arm is contacted first. But they said, now remember, roughing the passer with targeting. So even if they take targeting off, they cannot take off the roughing the passer.
Great point. That's exactly what I was just going to ask you. And so this is going to be a first down. No, it's not. We all agree.
But you know what? Hey, I understand in real time. Yes.
After review, there is no foul for targeting. Number 26 may remain in the game. However, there is a foul for roughing the passer. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
There is a first down available at the 1. 32 seconds left. First half. McCoy throwing it, end zone, incomplete. He wanted Caulfield. Dante Manning, the longtime Duck, in his 5th year with the Covers.
So get your tight end out there, right? Your big tight end. You're going to try to run a slant and go. And Manning's like, hey, I've seen these with receivers, and I can turn my hips in a hurry. There's contact, but there's contact by both. That's a good no call.
McCoy surveying and running. McCoy is very close. Let's see. It is a touchdown. It looked like his foot might be out at about the 1. We'll see if this stands.
Well, you said they could run it once.
Oh, how close.
He's out.
He's out.
He's likely, will likely out by a toe.
The ruling on the previous play was a touchdown. The play's under further review. Mike
Pereira gets time and a half to do 2 hits within a 1-minute span or so. Mike, you're worth the money. What do you see here?
Oh, I thought that left foot was going to be down inbounds there, but it does slide and then touch in the white. So therefore, as soon as that happens, where is the ball? And you can see that the ball in his right hand is at about the half-yard line. So to me, he's down short of the goal line. It's not a touchdown.
Thank you, Mike. This should be a first down.
Correct.
After review, the runner's foot was out of bounds with the ball on the 1-yard line. It will be first and goal at the 1. Please reset the game clock to 21 seconds.
Here we go, he says. And they do. Hankerson, second effort, got him in. What a tough run. Devin Jackson got a face full of Hankerson.
I mean, this is, you go back through the 100 years of this matchup, and there have been Beaver running backs and Duck linebackers and vice versa that have just gone face to face with each other just like that. And the amount of power and strength in Hankerson's lower half to absorb that contact and have the balance and the power to finish, yeah, that flex is worthy.
The offensive lineman, it is. When your coaches say that you, Hankerson, and your teammate, Jam Griffin, run like you have a Napoleon complex,
yeah,
that kind of thing happens.
Well, remember, they brought in other Louis Vuitton to Colorado because he wasn't good enough. So we needed our own Louis Vuitton, and we shipped him away. And he's saying, I think to Deion and the rest, I'm pretty good too.
Yeah, I can play. He had a touchdown against Oregon State last year while with Colorado. The extra point is through. 22-14. And oh, do we have a Pacific Life game summary sponsored by Pacific Life. 160 years. A lot of splash plays for Oregon so far. And Dillon Gabriel still hasn't missed.
I mean, look at the efficiency of those two quarterbacks. And then both of them have used their legs really well. This one's got to find Black.
Oh, boy. It's returnable. And it is the man who just changed his number for the moment. It's Limar, and he'll get to the 29. See, they weren't even telling the truth. It was the other 27 that became the 37, so 27. Oregon's just going to kneel on it.
Yeah, good game in Corvallis right now. 8-point game as we welcome you to the State Farm Halftime Show inside our LA studios. Mike Hill, Emmanuel Acho, Chris Peterson hanging out with you. Oregon getting some explosive plays. Dillon Gabriel has been perfect so far passing the ball. As we look at our State Farm halftime highlights, the only thing stopping Oregon is the halftime itself.
There's no doubt. These guys have been so clean on offense. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns, and Dillon Gabriel, wow. Running the ball, here's a 54-yard touchdown. He can do it with his legs. What I really love about this guy, though, look at him here. He's a runner, but he keeps his eyes downfield, throws a strike. He's 10 for 10, 114 yards and a touchdown. Both teams playing great.
Exactly right. It's taken that type of efficiency for Oregon to be leading because Oregon State's actually executing a phenomenal game plan, dominating time of possession. They've had the ball for 21 minutes and change. Oregon only 8 minutes and change. So Oregon is like, hey, Oregon State, let's eliminate the possessions. However, because Oregon's being so efficient, they don't need the ball for a long time. They will make do with the time they have.
Dillon Gabriel, he was with Oklahoma before, and now he's with Oregon doing great things. They're up at 8.
Oregon band up in the corner of the stadium in a close ball game, 22-14. We'll take a look at our team comparison sponsored by T-Mobile. It's better over here. Double the number of plays for Oregon State to Oregon so far. The time of possession stands out because Oregon generally has possessed it more than the opponents the first 2 games this year. Brock Heward, this game seems to always have something for you.
Yeah, rivalry typically does that, right? And it could bring out the very best in people, and we've certainly seen that with Dillon Gabriel. I mean, 84% completion coming in. I thought, wow, that's not sustainable. No, right? I mean, maybe you get to 70%. Oh, no, we'll go 10 for 10. I mean, there's not been a ball on the ground today, and it's been a variety of different throws. And obviously, the no sacks helps a lot. This was just a tremendous play call, the speed option, and he showed everybody in this building, I'm not just a thrower. I could run it too. I mean, just on the grade sheet, Jason, it's 100%. And very rarely do you ever see any quarterback play a perfect game. He's played a perfect half, and they'll get the ball to begin the second.
No turnovers for either team, and they've played games like that in the past. I mean, there was one game where they had 37 combined punts in the history of this series. That is not today. Yeah, no, seriously.
In the game?
In the game. 37 combined punts. You don't believe me? It was 1931. Nobody scored, surprisingly. It was 0-0. Oregon will get it out of halftime. Downstairs, Allison Williams.
I asked Oregon State's Trent Bray about his quarterback, Giovanni McCoy. He said, we see what we've come to expect from him. He's efficient, operates within the offense, and when it's not there, he can tuck it and run. And in an 8-point game here at the half, he said, we are right where we want to be. We know this will be a 4th quarter game. We just have to get it there, go out and finish. Finish, that word we have heard so much with Oregon, right, guys? And I asked Coach Lanning how many times his guys would hear that at the half. He said with that signature smile, a lot. Really pleased, though, guys, with his offense, how clean they've played. 0 penalties in the first half. They have operated and executed at a much higher level today.
I don't know why they haven't made the T-shirts with Dan Lanning's smile on the front. It has become so iconic there. Jordan James squeezes through the car wash and gets 9 on first down. It's Robinson to take him down, the senior.
Yeah, I think Oregon is showing you that without tackles for loss, without sacks, without penalties, and Dan Lanning thought he knew they were close. They were poised for this kind of production, and it has been so efficient.
Allison made a good point at halftime. No offensive penalties for Oregon in the first 30 minutes. Johnson in motion. He'll double back. Gabriel pops it over the top, and he's got a first down. That's the tight end, Patrick Herbert, who had the big fumble last week. He's got a first down, gain of 9.
And again, plays like this happen because you have poise. And you have poise because you've played and seen everything in college football. He's played 52 games. You'll see a lot of quarterbacks in that moment. The game speeds up on them. They may take the sack, gets out. No, he knows where his outlet is, where everybody is. And as we talked about just moments ago, pretty remarkable perfection.
He's getting more comfortable in this offense, it looks like, as well. Gabriel, a laser this time. Coming this side, he's got Stewart, who ends up out of bounds. What did Dillon Gabriel tell you about the difference between the previous offense and this offense and learning it?
Yeah, for 5 years in Jeff Levy's system, it was like McDonald's. I'll take a value meal number 1. I mean, just the verbiage was so small, and this was like Bible verses out of Leviticus. Shifts and formations, emotions and movements, so much more verbiage. And it's taken time, but I will say this, they wanted to simplify. Will Stein said it was our best week of practice by far through camp in the first couple weeks, and you're seeing it on display.
Gabriel loads the time. Again to Stewart. Catch and run. First down. To be clear, that's the way Dillon Gabriel described learning the offense, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, and they're just now we get one-on-ones, and one-on-one, I trust my guys, and with kind of speed that Stewart has and then hits the brakes. Wow, that's a lot of separation.
No chance for Robinson there. He was on skates. First down. It's a run, just like they did on the first play. It's James for a couple.
There's a lot of sabermetrics out there that tell you, and Will Stein knows this as he looks at his call sheet, that if you get sacked, how just destructive it is to production. And Jason, there's 7 sacks, 4 of them caused 3 and outs. And I think Will Stein in this offense knew if we just avoid the negative plays, stay on schedule, my gosh, could we have weaponry all over the field to utilize.
And they've avoided 3rd and long as well as they go empty here on 2nd down. Gabriel with a lot of time, even in an empty set, to scan and fire. Once again, Tez Johnson. It's a first down, Oregon, and they are cooking.
Well, a 3-man rush versus empty. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. Yeah, that's a lot of Mississippis.
That is. It's a mighty Mississippi.
20 yards on the full play, first and 10.
First down, just outside of the 10. Gabriel wants to pop it over the top, and he will end up out of bounds. And here are the sack numbers. I mean, this is
silly.
It really is. Bo Nix was so clean, had such a clean pocket those couple years.
He did, but he also got the ball out, right? And with Dan Lanning, it was the same system with Kenny Dillingham. And when they hit the ground running, just 5 sacks in each of those seasons. Different this year, and this looking a lot like the last 2 seasons with Bo Nix.
Ferguson downstairs. Gabriel throws a little high. It's James on the catch, and he seeks out contact with Robinson. That's a 2-car crash.
Wow. I'm just glad they all got up from that accident.
Yes. The last player from Jonathan Smith's first team here, Robinson, on the tackle that time. 3rd and 6.
4-point play right here.
Casper is in at the bottom of your screen. The bunch up top. Gabriel throws that way. Incomplete for Johnson. It wasn't an advanceable ball. It wasn't catchable. It's fourth down.
That was a touchdown. I mean, this is the only miss, right? You get in that bunch formation. You get a natural rub route. Everybody's running their routes. You can see the freshman, Vijayawali, trying to come over the top of it. That one just put out in front, just a little bit of air. He throws line drives all over, but just a little more touch.
Bad time for the first incompletion. 15 of 16 now. Sappington hearing it at his former warm home. The ex-Beaver for 3. It is good. Here are all the ranked teams in the Big Ten to this point. Michigan a winner earlier today. Nebraska has snuck in at 23. It's going to be a tough league this year. Oregon State held Oregon to a field goal. Zachary Card from 3 yards deep. Betcher's after him. Card gets knocked down. He gets drilled by Dante Manning.
That was a low liner of a kick, and typically when you field it that deep in the end zone, you may want to think about that. I'm just bringing it out because Oregon also, and we've seen this with Tuioti earlier, like they play their starters.
They do. Seen a lot of Griffin and Hankerson, and this time it's Griffin weaving for a couple of yards short of the 20.
You know, we've not mentioned the name really Jeffrey Bassa yet, but Oregon's missing him.
Yeah.
Right? You talk about this run game and what Griffin and Hankerson and certainly the quarterback McCoy's been able to do. Betcher's playing a lot. Devin Jackson's playing a lot. Bassa got nicked up right away. Ankle injury in that first game of the year. And number 2 is close to getting back today. He fought. But we've not seen much of him, and he is a difference maker in that front.
At points, he's been wearing the green dot on the helmet. Ball is loose. It's down on the deck and covered up by Oregon State. It will be third down. We've seen that happen a couple of times. It looks like Grant Stark got on at the right tackle.
Well, once again, Van Wells, the normal starting center is out. That has been Cheech. The center's done a nice job today in that run game. And Oregon State very fortunate to come up with that one.
Beavers are 6 of 9 on third down. It's 3rd and 7. How much pressure will Tosh Lupoy bring?
And Bassa on the field for this third down.
He was just signaling there. McCoy looked his direction. This throw is short of the line to gain, and Walker is knocked down. Nice hit by Nico Reed, and Oregon stands tall.
I'm going to guess Tosh Lupoy and Dan Lanning maybe had a conversation with these Ducks defenders like, let's go, boys. Let's tighten this space up a little bit, and let's get these Beavers to the ground.
Fourth down. Punt from Green. He got it away. Tez Johnson hits it, picks it up. Johnson keeps his feet. Look out. Changing direction. Now he's hemmed in. Oregon State trying to come back. The Ducks will have it when we come back. What a scene here at brand new Reser Stadium. Some great renovations here over the past couple of years, and just intermingled Duck fans and Beaver fans. It's mostly orange, but you know, you look at any section, there's like a little fleck of green here and there.
Yeah, really hard for a colorblind guy to see that.
Yep.
Just want to let you know.
Okay. I'm sympathetic. There's one right in the middle.
I'll trust you.
How'd you get that ticket? First down for Oregon. Whittington, the tailback. And he will tunnel his way, going low for about 4 yards for Noah Whittington, the transfer from Western Kentucky. It's Tez Johnson in the backfield, and Gabriel looks his way. Johnson with those wide steps, staggering to the 38-yard line. What a weapon he is.
Yeah, he is. I like the way you say that. He's a long strider. He's just going to come in motion out of the backfield and run kind of that similar little out route that we saw down in the red zone that was just missed. Deshaun Jackson-like with those long strides for a small guy.
A zigzagging run that time for Whittington. A nice run. Laloulu has been the center all day.
And it's been your buddy Harper from Homewood Flossmoor High School.
So Vikings, it's a run. It's Whittington changing direction. Bouncing outside. First down and more. Noah Whittington, escapability. He's finally tackled by Johnson after 20 yards.
Once again, it is just a body on a body, and Ferguson's going to come around here, but they're all just patient, staying square, so then Whittington can have that time to bounce it out. Look at the big fellas. You did not see this the first 2 weeks of the season. Just getting into those defenders, winning at the point of attack, and allowing that run game to set the table for everything else.
Again, they start empty, and they'll give it to Whittington, turning upfield. All right, same look, different running back. It's James this time. Gabriel rolling and throwing, and off the hands of a frustrated Tez Johnson. It was a laser, but he nearly squeezed it. Third down.
Yeah, because he knows that's one that he can have. The one down in the red zone on third down, that one more on Gabriel. This one is more on Tez. That's right where you want to put it. You're not slowing him down. He's frustrated because he knew there was even more yards after catch to come. Not a lot of it today.
Not a lot of third down tries. They're just 2 for 3. Movement at the line. Could be a free play. There is a marker down. It is a free play. Oh, that's a strike to Johnson, and he holds on to win the wrestling match with Josiah Johnson. Wow.
That's how you make up for it, and he's barking a little bit as well.
Offside. Defense number 62. The penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
Yeah, you're going to see right there, clearly into the neutral zone. Great job by Poncho to snap it, and Dillon to catch it, and then ultimately the seam route. I asked you what you weighed because Tez is 161 pounds.
Yeah.
So you're a little guy out there thinking, I'm too little to play football. No, you're not. No, you're not. You just got to be tough like him.
You don't want me going over the middle. Here's James, spinning, wheeling, driving, no way! Oh, he's down at the 1. Oh my goodness.
Did Connerly just toss him at the end?
He may have.
I think the left tackle, you're going to see Connerly at the very end of this run just try to help his buddy out right there.
He might be in.
He looks like he was in.
Second and goal.
That is very close. Call it second and goal. Feed him. Looking for the goal line. James. They'll unpack. Let's see. Is he in? Yes, he is. One play later.
Touchdown, Oregon.
He deserved that touchdown.
He did. And it was Connerly trying to pick him up the first time. And then it was Harper, the big right guard, that just gets behind James and is just pushing that scrum of humanity.
Oregon State 62.
We've had a few of these plays. So you can turn back the clock to your microfiche in like the early 1900s, and you would see that same scrum in that same play. And this Oregon offense is humming.
Think about 2 years ago, after the fourth down that went awry, Oregon State had Isaiah Newell in the backfield, and they basically pushed him for 6 yards into the end zone. This was just 1 yard, but the offensive line was equally as engaged.
Yeah, and Trent Bray knows it. Like, this has been a statement from this offensive line. But this O-line needed this kind of effort.
Well, for Dan Lanning, who last year used Martha and the Vandellas as a weapon over the PA, nowhere to run from Jordan James. This is the 128th meeting between Oregon and Oregon State. What is the most played college football rivalry game at the FBS level, Brock Hewitt?
This one's on the medal stand. I know that.
People are going to grab some food. Oregon State with a key possession coming here is Card on the approach from outside of the 5. He goes straight ahead. Not much 30 to go or so in the third. The Beavers try to hang around against a top 10 Oregon team when we come back. Beauty of Multnomah Falls, north of Corvallis. They played this game at Multnomah Stadium once in Portland. All right, here's your answer to our Aflac trivia question. Most played rivalry at the FBS level is Minnesota, Wisconsin for Paul Bunyan's Axe. We had a chainsaw here. They play for an axe. You ever done that game?
Yes.
Winner runs around the stadium with the axe. It's a little menacing.
They're usually in about 2 hours and 40 minutes.
That's correct. First down, Oregon State. Important drive for McCoy and the Beavers. Right down the middle. And Jackson with a big hit immediately, and not a whole lot of room to run for Noga with his second grab. Gain of 4.
This feels like a must.
Got to be, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have just got to stay close. And if you give the ball back, you've had no answers defensively for anything Oregon is doing with their offense. You've got to possess the ball, and you've got to score in this drive.
Can't get one-dimensional, right? So here's a run. They'll go straight ahead, and Jam Griffin is hit. Traeshon Johnson just hung on for dear life. The Ole Miss transfer to set up third down. Some guys are their high school player of the year. He was the Newman Goretti High School Player of the Decade out of that school in Philadelphia. Third down and 4 for Oregon State. Noga in motion next to Walker. McCoy has it batted and incomplete. That's Derek Harmon who got the hand in. Moore was trying to run with it looked like, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, if you just compare and contrast the pocket that Dillon Gabriel's had versus what's happened here, look at it, just the air gets sucked out of it. Oregon brings a little bit more, and Derek Harmon doing his Jordan Burch. Jordan Burch coming in with 4 pass breakups, and if you can't get home, get those long arms up.
Tez Johnson about to receive this punt. He tracks it to the near sideline, and he's going to let this one roll. And Oregon will be backed up in the shadows inside the 20. Explosive plays were the key for Oregon.
We talked last night in our meeting. It just feels like Oregon is close. To a man, they all said the same thing. A great week of practice. That was the speed option that Dillon showed you. I can still jet. There's that arm that just throws beautiful, tight spirals. And then this was just some, like, toughness. I thought that was a score that Connerly threw him in. Ultimately, Harper fell on top of him. But, I mean, 0 sacks, 0 tackles for loss. And on the flip side, all of those explosive plays.
It took a while to kind of integrate. You know, there was some time in the spring where he even told us, he was like, yeah, there was a little bit of a lull. Like, I had a downturn, and then I figured it out, did a little more work, and I'll go straight ahead, and Jordan James for a couple of yards.
I mean, he sounded like an old NFL vet, honestly, when we spoke to him earlier this week. And he said, you know, with 51 starts, where do you feel that the most? And he said, well, obviously I love the feeling of winning, but I also, through losses, don't take for granted all that it takes to win. And just some of that maturity.
Going to run it again. Jordan James. Second hole was a good one. That's a first down as Tyrese Ivey smokes him down to the ground. But it's a gain of 13 for James, and they're wearing out Oregon State a little bit.
Yeah, and everybody is getting involved. You can see the offensive line, but watch everybody else do their job and get a hat on a hat. And that's even just as low, 180-pound receiver getting into the mix. And they are just doing whatever they want to do offensively. Whatever Will's got on his play sheet, just call it, because it's all effective.
First down run, James again. He whirls, he gets into the secondary, and it's another first down for Oregon.
I mean, Johnny Cornelius comes around on this block, so does Harper, and both of them. Just setting the table, Jason. It's become really difficult to defend.
It's a hand, Traeshon Holden. Behind Herbert. Holden turns upfield. It's another gash. What design. It's art from Will Stein on a gain of 21.
Yeah, look at the little loop-de-loo here. You're going to see a motion, and Herbert, I believe, is going to come back, right? He's going to start. Oh, nope. I'm going to spin right back around. We can run it right at you. We can run it on the perimeter horizontally. And then more likely than not, with all of this run on this drive, Jason, there's probably a good play action.
Is it here? Is it the next time they touch the ball?
It could be here. You're in the high red zone, but you know that all of that run game then sets up as those safeties have to get more involved. A throw over their head.
48 yards the last 3 plays for Oregon. Gabriel out of the pocket, and he will find his way out of bounds. You see the value of that across college football. We saw it with Van Dyke in our first game of our triple header today. You saw it with Cam Rising last week, and Dillon Gabriel, very smart.
Yes. That's the difference. Unfortunately, Van Dyke has a non-contact injury that looks severe. Cam Rising gets knocked out of that game, and it has totally changed. This guy understands the most important ability is durability and availability. And you do not need to run into contact.
not worth it. They have high hopes for this season, the Oregon Ducks.
This team that went from 3 to 7 to 9 in the polls, they're going to go right back up that ladder. This is the kind of performance and team that I think most of the pollsters were expecting.
If they put it away. And remember, the fourth quarter did not treat them very well 2 years ago in this building. We'll find out next.
It was a game of keep away in the first half for Oregon State, and Oregon's nearly evened up the time of possession because of that. I mean, they've just been on the field. They've been owning the ball. Oregon State 2 3 and outs offensively.
Second down, Whittington in. He squeezes through a crease, and he's on his way. Whittington! Let's see. Touchdown, Whittington.
You know, there's times, Jason, that you draw stuff up on the whiteboard as a play. Right, O-line coaches, offensive coordinators, everybody did their job. Cornelius comes around, you're going to see an A1 block. Watch Terrence Ferguson at the second level here. Everybody does their job. A double team over there by Strother and Connerly to the second level. I mean, this just looks like a different team. And I know Oregon State's a little thin defensively, and I know they're a little undersized against this group, but this has been a focused, shut up the critics of the last 2 weeks that we can't do what we're capable of doing at the line of scrimmage, and it's dominance. Man, what a block from Ferguson.
That was 15 yards worth of a block, Brock.
I love tight ends that can catch it. Everybody does. But when you can catch it and you block it, and you set up James and Whittington, yeah, they're having some fun.
When Bucky Irving leaves, he was a great running back. He's in the NFL now. So it takes a little while, especially with that offensive line. They found their footing.
Yeah, 5'8", 210 pounds, right to the line of scrimmage, right, great balance. Jordan James. I mean, I'm marveling at him on the field pregame, like thick thighs save lives. He's got them. And they create a bunch of yards, too.
Where do you buy your bumper stickers?
I just write the stuff down through the years. That's it. Look at that, 236 rushing yards, no tackles for loss, no sacks, and no penalties. That is going above and beyond, sponsored by Jerseys, Mike. I love, you know this. I'm sending you stuff and video during that. I love offensive line execution. Right? You don't have to just an offensive line. We're just, no, you're not. You're the tone setters. You set the whole table for everybody else. And what a response today.
That effort can be so contagious, right? It just kind of drives the team forward. We saw it from Ferguson. First down, Oregon State, trailing by 25, largest lead for the Ducks today. And McCoy with some air under it. He got it to Walker. Wow. Oh, nice catch. A long ball that time. Downstairs, Allison.
Guys, we look at this Oregon team, and you can see how their identity is being forged here on the road, right? And this group, it needed it. Number 2 transfer class in the country, preseason hype. Everybody's telling them how great they are. And they said the right things to the press. Hey, we have to go out there and show it. We haven't done anything yet. But there's a part of them that has to learn it. That's what Dan Lanning said, and he said it would show up today whether or not they've truly learned that lesson, that they have to still establish themselves as a team.
I love that you mentioned that, Allison, because you asked the question, and Dan Lanning said, basically, we'll find out Saturday. Yep. And it goes back to what Dillon Gabriel honestly told us. He said, look, when you play this much college football, sometimes you're confronted with the idea that you thought you learned a certain lesson, and then it pops up again. And I think Oregon learned a lot of lessons last year, even here 2 years ago, but it's a different group, and they're learning them together right now to the tune of a 25-point lead. McCoy sees Birch, and this throw goes to the sideline.
On Tuesday, when we talked to Kobe Savage, one of those transfers that's been a lot of other places, and he said, guys, practice at this place, way harder in games. Physically, mentally, and I kind of started to sense then, and certainly we heard it, yesterday from Will Stein and others, it's been our best week of work. Like, yeah, man, time on task, and you make practice that hard, the fruit of it can be an afternoon like this.
Oregon goes into the bye week next week before playing at UCLA. Here comes Birch again. He's relentless. That's a high screen. It's Hankerson on a nice catch, but he is submerged by Betcher again.
They've done a pretty good job on Birch today, and that is the 6'9" left tackle, Christian Lichtenand. And he is retreating and retreating on that screen, fighting for his life. A beautiful catch. And guess who? Our center fielder. Controlling that outfield.
He said earlier this week, I'm selling out for this game. And you see it in the baseball highlights. You see it on the football field. He gives everything. A guy who very easily could be a Major League Baseball player. As that's over the middle and nearly intercepted. Jabbar Muhammad wanted it. He's a really good corner.
Yeah, he is. His third stop here at Oregon, right? From Oklahoma State, Washington last year, all the way to the national title game. And that one's like, oh, man. If it could have just been a foot closer, it was that far off target. But old number 7 couldn't finish it.
His transfer story is interesting, right? Oklahoma State, Washington, now Oregon. And you say, well, what? Why transfer? Why leave? Different varieties of defense give him a greater menu of things he understands when he does make it to the NFL level. Tez Johnson, a fair catch at the 20. The Oregon Ducks demanding more of themselves today after only a plus 13 through 2 weeks. They're up 25 in Corvallis. 160 years. Winner goes to the Rose Bowl 2009. Oregon ends up with a victory. LaMichael James with a massive day. Big first down for Jeremiah Masoli late. Pac-10 at the time. First trip to the Rose Bowl since 1995 in that moment for the Ducks.
Yeah, I don't think, and look at the rush offense today, that is extraordinary. I don't think there's been many days like this they play this game, because it's usually in the rain and the fog and the cold in November. It has turned into just a gorgeous afternoon.
Beautiful day for football, and Oregon taking advantage as they will run it one more time straight ahead. Limar to set up second down. See if Oregon maybe gets some depth here out of this game. And I know they want to finish, and Dan Lanning used that word as much as any word last year about this game, but there's an opportunity with how long this season might get, right? The expanded playoff, as they'll drop this off for Sadiq, and what a weapon he is. There's a marker down.
Ferguson. Illegal block in the back. Offense number 3. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Sadiq is a unique weapon when you talk about these tight ends being some of the most productive in all of college football. There you do see the shove in the back. Ferguson trying to help out his tight end battery mate. Is there a better tight end group in college football?
Along with Herbert? I don't think so.
And they're all a little bit different, right? I mean, they can block, they can run, they can catch. Utah's up there. A whole bunch of depth.
Second down, Gabriel. He's got Limar in front of him. Gabriel goes to the next level, and that's whipped to Tez Johnson. First down.
There is, you have said this on just about every one of his throws down the field, Jason. The authority with which he is throwing it.
Yep. You know about the deep ball, but this type of ball, the intermediate, really nice.
Kind of sets you out. And you crushed it.
First down for Oregon. Gabriel again. Clean pocket. Right down the middle, and that's incomplete. It's knocked away by Kobe Singleton, the transfer from Southern Utah by way of Liberty. We said that about Bo Nix last year, too.
Yeah.
This offense has been great for quarterbacks. One right-handed, one left-handed. Gabriel. Incomplete. Wanted Justice Lowe. It caught a hand. Third down.
Yeah, that one almost caught the umpire right in the head as he ducks out of the way. And that's one with a lot of people around you. We saw Lowe earlier with a tremendous block.
Empty set. It's a screen. They run a lot of those to the far side. And Limar breaks free. Jayden Limar is gone.
I don't know what this play call is, but I'm just going to call it the cavalry of humanity. Look at the big boys get out in front. Just, again, a tremendous block right on the edge. I think that's Sadiq, the tight end. And the Lake Stevens High School stud did a whole bunch of that back in Washington State. And Gabriel takes a little kiss, but he will more than take that for that kind of touchdown.
Well, Oregon fans are saying if that one earlier is roughing the passer, this one definitely is. But they've got the score where they want it, so it will wash over pretty quickly. Sappington again knocks it through. Dan Lanning said to Atticus Sappington, what do they think of us over there? And the one word he used that Dan shared was hate. Oregon really loves what's going on here today. 46-14. Jayden Limar into the end zone for a long touchdown. Dillon Gabriel, a big smile for his buddy. That looked a little bit like some of the stuff that Gabriel ran at UCF in Oklahoma, didn't it?
Yep. I love those hugs. You put all that work in, all that time, and James has gotten to eat. Whittington's gotten to eat, and now the youngster Limar, the heads that played last week. That touchdown's a little sweeter than the heads up one a week ago.
He picked up the ball in the end zone after it got dropped at the 1 yard line. Very smartly, and now Oregon State will have it, trailing 46-14. Performance for Oregon, which they needed because they opened the season number 3, only behind Georgia and Ohio State. You win a couple games, not exactly a cruise on a motorcycle against Idaho, 24-14. Some odd plays there, a couple of fourth downs. They survived last week on the field goal and the special teams basically winning the day, to use an Oregon term. And so they're on their way to 3-0. This is a totally different looking team than we saw on tape.
Yeah, this is what Allison said. This is an identity shaper. Like, this is who we are. We're coming in every phase of it this afternoon.
McCoy sees the pocket collapse on him, and he goes down. He is officially sacked. It's a loss of 1. Looked like Tuioti was in there. And it's 2nd and 11.
Oh, my big guy Caldwell did all the work.
339.
Yeah, 339, not 340, 339. Thank you very much.
Well, you joke, but he's worked on
yes,
that.
He has.
To be in playing shape, to be able to play.
That's right.
This late in the game is impressive.
It's awesome. Done a lot of cardio work, not just the running, it's the biking, it's the stuff in the pool. To have kind of stamina, because he's a difference maker.
2nd and 11 for McCoy. Down the middle, and that's on target. It's going to be a first down, caught by Walker. Trent Walker just has this rivalry deep in his veins.
Yeah, you're going to see this little in cut come right here, and that is a bang play. Tyler Turner is all over it there. That ball, that was kind of a Dillon Gabriel conviction throw. Like, this thing's going to get there in a hurry because there's no margin for error.
Walker's best friend growing up, he said, was a big Duck fan. Very tight relationship with a lot of Oregon fans. As this comes to the sideline, that's a nice ball from McCoy. He gets it to the tight end Caulfield, and it's a gain of 13.
He's going to have to push the envelope.
They're going to play a pretty Mountain West heavy schedule this year with the Pac-2 as it is. As Uiagalelei tries to rush, this comes near side. That's knocked away by Dante Manning to set up 2nd and 10.
You know, just kind of not playing the waiting game. They were the one to say, nope, we're going to put this in our own hands and steer the direction of the ship moving forward, adding 4 and more to come.
It is good to see the apple cut being played, this game being played, as you said, off the top of the show. Jam Griffin on the run. It'll be 3rd down. So if you haven't heard, the expansion goes like this to this point. The Pac-12 starting in 2026 has added San Diego State, Boise State, some powerhouse programs here, Fresno State, Colorado State. So they're at 6 at this point in 2026.
A lot of states.
Yeah, it's a wall of states. 3rd down and 6. McCoy. That's knocked away by Manning again. Really nice day for him.
Can't you just see the difference, Jason, of the separation?
Yes.
I mean, Oregon guys are just running free, and there is Manning, maybe a little fistful of jersey.
That might be interference.
Yeah, that's probably interference. Yep. But he is in the hip pocket, and that is now 0 for 4 for these Beavers. on third down in the second half. Remember Dan Lanning said we got to fix the third down and get off the field. It's pretty good adjustments and some pretty tight coverage.
That's what he told Allison early on in the ball game. This is a fourth down. They had a big one early. They'll double team Birch, and McCoy misses. He had Wells coming toward Caulfield. 4 incompletions all day for Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, the old southpaw got it going right there. You realize because of sacks, he came in with negative 38 yards rushing. He erased all of that on that speed option touchdown here, extending the play to Holden. Just a gorgeous pass. Just facilitating, Jason. Just doing whatever's asked with his legs. Extending plays, getting the ball out of his hands, avoiding any negative plays. And now going to be watching his backup.
Yeah, he's done. Dante Moore is in. Jay Harris is the tailback, the transfer from Northwest Missouri State. Dante Moore transferred from UCLA. He left UCLA. He was born and raised in Detroit, a 5-star recruit, and they have a well-stocked quarterback cabinet.
They do, and they've kept the 1-0 line in for him on this drive.
He'll throw near side. Number 1 wide receiver as well, literally. Traeshon Holden gets a first down for Oregon. Why is that so important?
Well, I think for the O-line to go finish. Right? If that is a common refrain and you want to build even more continuity with this group that's done a phenomenal job today, go finish. And you'll see maybe some of the younger people on the perimeter. Maybe no more Terrence Ferguson as you see Sadiq there, but yeah, give the backup quarterback the opportunity to thrive behind this line.
Harris is wrangled in the backfield and stopped.
See if this
is his defensive line.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get it going. He's on the forefront of it.
Second down at 12. Dante Moore. A lot of air under it to the sideline and incomplete for Casper, and there's a marker coming in. Kobe Singleton on the coverage. He was stuck to Casper.
Man, that ball comes out of Dante Moore's hands.
With emotion.
Yes.
Pass interference. Defense number 0. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Yeah, that's 6-6 on 5-10. And once again, I think we've seen the contact allowed. But I think the judgment there by the back judge was holding on to that arm by Singleton. Just did not allow it. It just impeded Casper the opportunity to go get it.
Moore to Harris out of the backfield behind the tight end, and he got a very effective block, but there was a second Beaver. It's Chisholm, and second down.
You know, just one other thing is you're preparing for this game, and just about every one of these Oregon recruits, 4-star, 4-star, 4-star,
5-star, Dante Moore,
4-star, 4-star.
You okay? Your battery's all right?
There are just not many 2 or 3 stars on this roster. Although, maybe there were some that started at other places and played well enough at East Carolina to
Kobe Savage.
Yes, to come here and be a difference maker.
Paris, Texas.
Yep.
Junior college, D2. Harris. And he stopped.
But I do like what Tosh LaPoy had to say about that, and I think it's a pretty good way to be sustainable. I don't think it's sustainable to have free agents every year. Do it through the high school ranks, and they are. Their high school recruiting off the charts with those 4 stars and 5 stars. And then when you need to supplement in, well, then you go into that portal and add, as they did this last year, 11 or 12 guys. Not an entirely new roster. There you see Tosh. And always respect and use high school recruiting first and foremost.
Moore rolling right on 3rd and 8. He'll drop it off, and that's Limar, who does get the catch. He's out of bounds, and we'll see if they have one more chance to boo Atticus Sappington before the Oregon bus leaves Corvallis. Ross James didn't punt today, so Dunn is going to hold. He's not the typical holder. Sappington, in a hostile environment specifically for him, knocks it down, and his holder was really excited.
That says it all.
Yeah.
And that first half script, this was a 22-14 game at half. I mean, it was a 1-score game at half. Got that game to the second half, hoping to pressurize them, and instead Oregon just stepped on the gas. Just did not make any mistakes.
Oregon State will see it again. And I mean, you said it right off the top. Allison echoed it. the identity of the Oregon Ducks was kind of in the balance.
I think part of the conversation and why a lot of folks were excited about this Ducks team coming in is if they play to their ceiling, ceiling's really high. Yeah. If Michigan plays to their ceiling this season, talent-wise, it's not what Oregon is capable of doing.
McCoy is wrapped up. Down he goes.
Is that my big guy?
It was Terrence Green. It's another big guy.
Another one of the big guys.
They're all your big guys.
Yep, these guys have been active all day. It's been a line of scrimmage that has, especially in the second half, just been overwhelmed by the guys in white and green. And D-linemen kind of live for this moment, right? Pin your ears back. You know what you're going to get. It's going to be the passing game. And they've been teeing off the last couple drives.
McCoy fading to his right. There's a marker down as he was.
Yep.
So they're building on a season that was right on the doorstep.
Holding. Offense number 66. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
And we know in this day and age, like we looked it up before the season, the average 12th team, 1 through 12 in the college football playoff era, has something north of 2 wins. It's like 2 losses, I should say. It's like 2.3 losses. So this is a tough schedule, but there are also opportunities to build your resume, and it's about getting in.
Ohio State at home, at Michigan. I mean, you could say from a Big Ten scheduling standpoint, they have one of the toughest. But the Buckeyes, they get them in their building in a few weeks.
Low snap. McCoy throws a screen. And he's got it for Hankerson. He's had a very nice day. And Hankerson trying to make a couple of memories for the folks who've stayed. Third down coming up.
Just not with all of the losses they had, and I think you started to feel that, especially with their defense today, Jason. It is a pretty thin group up front.
Especially with some injuries as well. There's a line drive throw, and it's going to be a first down for Redding.
That really getting guys to understand what it's going to take here to move it forward.
McCoy to the sideline, and Walker.
You got to know how to recruit to it. You got to know how to develop it. And that coaching staff's going to be super, super important, Jason, moving forward.
This is
like Breland trying to take that ball away still with 2 minutes left. Oregon, a dominant second half here in Corvallis in one of the oldest rivalries in college football. Oregon State University, we ran into Derek Anderson in the football facility yesterday, heading into the Hall of Fame this weekend. Some true greats were here today. Jaquiz Rogers, among others. Jacoby Ellsbury has poured a lot into the baseball facility as well.
Oh, these facilities are off the charts.
Yeah.
All around campus, some of the new buildings, the success of the baseball team, and so many. I mean, it is beautiful.
Third down and 4. It's McCoy to throw. He's got Reddix, the freshman, again. He tries to turn upfield, and he gets smushed. Coming up after the game, stay tuned for College Football Extra, sponsored by Defender. A lot to tell you about across the landscape of college football. Alabama, a really impressive, sterling performance at Camp Randall earlier. That's batted away, and it's incomplete. Laulea, and there is a marker coming in.
And they are still barking
Pass
down
interference.
there.
Defense number 13. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul.
Tasha's
automatic first down.
Not liking that because he trains these guys to go get the ball. Number 1 in the country. Right, for some of the struggles statistically, number 1 in the country at getting and breaking up those passes. Pass breakups, pass defense, be all over everything when that bird is in the air. It took almost 59 minutes of the broadcast to get to that.
Just under the wire. Got it home.
The pass was tipped behind the line of scrimmage.
Oh, so the pass was tipped. You cannot have pass interference.
For pass interference.
Yeah, Tosh.
It will be Oregon's ball. Turnover on downs. First down.
Summary sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. This Oregon offense came out hot and never stopped.
Yeah, it was just humming in every phase. They could run it, they could throw it, they could play pass it. I mean, just everything on Will Stein's sheet worked. And typically, Jason, when the O-line is functioning the way they do, they set the table for all the rest of it. And the nice thing is when you've got this many stars and 4 stars and transfers, you want to get everybody involved. And that's why Dillon Gabriel's smiling. I mean, it wasn't just the Tez show.
They were tied for 3rd in all of college football in tackles for loss allowed last year. They had allowed 10 sacks combined the last 2 years. And this was a little bit of a colander of an offensive line the first 2 weeks, but the holes have been patched very well, very smartly. And Oregon's going to walk out of here in Corvallis with a signature win for their season to this point.
Yeah, you know what else is nice for those players? We get to go into a bye week, too. I get a chance to just feel good about yourself and go in that bye week and get Jeffrey Bassa totally healthy. And then it's down to the Rose Bowl. It's Michigan State on a Friday night. And then those Buckeyes in less than a month.
The Oregon Ducks, who lost their chance at a college football playoff berth here 2 years ago, get their first win in Corvallis in 6 seasons. All Oregon in the second half, 49-14, the final score.
That felt like more than a win. That felt like a statement. A statement to the rival 45 minutes away, and more importantly, in a perception reality world, right, where committees are still going to rank people, a statement that when they're on, they can be one of the best in the country.
Open the year number 3, they fell to 9. Now they're 3-0, and for Trent Bray and Oregon State, after a shutout win last week in San Diego, they give up 49 to Oregon. 49-14, the final score. In an exceptional performance for the Ducks from Eugene. Here's Allison.
Dillon, I don't think there's any denying this did not look like the Oregon team we saw the first 2 weeks. For you, what was different today?
Yeah, I just think, as you go through adversity together, you get closer. And, you see that today, but also just being committed to the process. Although we weren't getting the result we were wanting at the time, we just continue to build days, and ultimately you come out and you dominate.
One of the areas I know you guys wanted to improve was on the offensive line. Today, 0 sacks, 0 penalties committed. Can you just describe for me the statement that group made?
Yeah, I'm just proud of those guys. I think naturally there's a lot of things that, were said, and we took that personally. These are guys that pride themselves in the run game and then protecting me, and I can't thank them enough, at the law firm, and then, the freak shows, boys in the back, they're just running at will.
It was an impressive performance, and you told me there's a lot of new pieces, and you guys are still learning to blend as a team. What did this game do to help establish some of that identity?
Yeah, just confidence within game, reps, and I think they, done a great job of that. And you see, as we don't take negatives, and we don't put ourselves in, down in distance that are tough, and then penalties as well. I think you combine all that and you create positive plays, and good things happen.
Dillon, thank you so much for the time. Congrats.
Thank you.
Guys.
It's a whale of a performance from that young man.
To the law firm?
Yeah, and something else, too. Final score goes the way of the Ducks over Oregon State, 49-14.